Hue is a little harder for me to decipher. I think I get the gist of what he's saying, but do you understand? It seems a little more convoluted than what Brian Flores is claiming about Stephen Ross.
Well, I don't want to just assume like we're going to have Hue on at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time with us, so I'll be able to probably get a little more clarity on what Hue was actually saying, because it was a little bit difficult understanding him to a degree. But anytime you have accusations of throwing games, tanking, whatever you want to call it to describe it, it's bad for the sport. It is not something that athletes are going to be proud of, coaches are going to be proud of, because we work too damn hard in the offseason and during the summers getting ready for regular season. We're not worried about next year. We're only worried about the now, right now. And, if that is the case with Jimmy Haslam, the owner of the Cleveland Browns, then this certainly will be investigated by the National Football League, I'm sure, and they will be taking it very seriously, and he will fall in line along with what's going on down in Miami with Stephen Ross and the Miami Dolphins.
So the first question I ask myself when I hear Hue Jackson, make these accusations is, do you have evidence? Are they true? So reading about that last night, he said, quote, "I can prove anything and everything that I am saying. The National Football League knows I can prove anything and everything I'm saying, and I don't run from that. If they feel like I'm being dishonest, call me on it. Let's sit down in front of everybody and put it all out there and see who's telling the truth." So for me, when I hear that, that indicates that there is evidence that Hue Jackson has, that he will be willing to then back Brian Flores in their class action suit, which, I mean, look, if that is the case, that's going to be problematic.
Now, why, someone out there might be thinking, how is this racial? They happen to be black coaches, right, head coaches, but we've seen tanking in other sports where, and I understand what Key is talking about, especially in the NFL. They say you don't play boxing. You almost don't play football. It's a game, but it is real. It's a different level of physical commitment in terms of sacrificing your body than, say, basketball, which I think everyone recognizes that the contracts aren't guaranteed the same way, the whole thing. So people might just say, hey, this is more of a tanking issue in the NFL than a racial issue, except when you overlap these accusations with the fact that there have been few in history black coaches compared to white coaches, not only who have gotten the head coaching job in the first place, but who then get second chances. So Key, I remember me calling Hue Jackson, and he would be a guest on the show that I'd be doing. But I would be honest, I wouldn't run from him. It's like, he's a 1 in 31. That's not good. That's a bad coach. I get why it would bother him.
Well, it's a couple things here, right, Max, when you look at it. In basketball, you can get a young Jason Williams from Duke to turn the team completely around and wind up getting the 4th seed and making a deep run into the playoffs, and who knows, you might go to championship with a LeBron James. But in football, tanking to get a high draft pick, thinking you're getting ready to turn the team around in year one, that's probably not going to happen. But when you start adding the race element to it and you start looking at it, Brian Flores is a black man. Hue Jackson is a black man. If they were asked to tank over a period of time to compile draft picks, to draft players, to do those sort of things, and then abruptly fired, you have to sit back and think, are they being set up for failure as an excuse so that the white coach can ride in and save the day with the roster that was built by the black coach? That is what I believe Hue is trying to get at, but I have to ask him at 8:30 a.m. when he joins us Eastern time, because that's the way I see it, Jay.
Yeah,
it's the only way, because I haven't seen a white coach come up with these accusations as of yet.
Yeah, I don't know if I see it as it's with intent set up for a white coach. I think it's the fact that they are in these circumstances to begin with the limited opportunities for black coaches to get second chances in the NFL. And that, I mean, it's almost like character assassination, right? To a degree. If we have a private conversation, Max, and we're trying to tank this show to a degree, right? And we're getting incentivized by the company, media out there is going to speculate in what happens to our character while that happens. And that's what's happening to Hue, which limits your opportunity to get those second opportunities because you're essentially being thrown under the bus internally while externally people are criticizing you.
Head coaching opportunities are precious, especially for black head coaches because they get fewer opportunities. They get fewer second chances. And so anything that tarnishes someone's reputation is tough. And whether or not the intention is, we're going to make this black coach take all the losses, then it's not the point. That's the result. The result is that. Can you imagine what kind of a coach Brian Flores is? That in the face of that, if the accusations are true, if true, he won 5 games out of his last 9 in his first season, 10 games the next year, and had a winning record last year. Like, this dude knows. The reason he's doing this, I spoke to him a little bit yesterday when he was here at Seaport. He knows one way, this dude, straight ahead. He does not know another. Competitive. All right. Here's Stephen Ross's statement on the allegations. With regard to the allegations being made by Brian Flores, I'm a man of honor and integrity, and I cannot let them stand without responding. I take great personal exception to these malicious attacks, and the truth must be known. His allegations are false, malicious, and defamatory. We understand there are media reports stating the NFL intends to investigate the claims, and we will cooperate fully. I welcome that investigation, and I am eager to defend my personal integrity and the integrity and values of the entire Miami Dolphin organization from these baseless, unfair, and disparaging claims. And that's all well and good. He has a right to say that. I will point out that the very body making this investigation that he refers to, the NFL, has already come out with a statement saying the claims are without merit. So wait, now they're doing an investigation. They must have already investigated. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.